At the unveiling of her official portrait on Wednesday, Julia Gillard said she'd wanted it to reflect that I was different to every other Prime Minister who came before me, and she hoped it would send some messages to the schoolchildren who saw it in future years. Ms Gillard has approached the painting a large, dramatic close-up of her face as part of her legacy, which will always revolve round her as Australia's first female PM. Beyond that, and I write as someone critical of her government at the time, I suspect she'll likely be viewed more favourably in retrospect than while in office. One important initiative she took was highlighted this week. She set up the Royal Commission into the sexual abuse of children, which led to Monday's apology to victims. At the ceremony, Ms Gillard was the centre of warm regard. Judgments about prime ministerial legacies often change as time goes on. The small stuff and the mistakes can over-influence the early assessments. With that qualification, what can we say about how the legacies of the three prime ministers of this government will be seen? Morrison, the fireman who arrived late, Tony Abbott and Malcolm Turnbull will both be condemned for squandering the mandate given to the coalition in 2013, Mr Abbott by breaking promises and bad decisions, Mr Turnbull by his flawed 2016 campaign. Scott Morrison, unless his prayers for a political miracle are answered, will go down as the fireman who arrived late, armed only with leaky buckets to confront a building ablaze and collapsing. Even after all that's happened, and regardless of Mr Morrison's own pragmatism, the government remains in thrall to revenge and ideology, seemingly unable to rise above either. This is despite the obvious point that the only way of improving its fortunes is to do so.